On the day my daughter was 1 month old, I accidentally saw my best friend sitting on my husband's lap. Brian, your stupid wife didn't notice that I swapped our daughter with her, right? She dotes on our daughter every day. But where's my daughter and hers? Why don't you bring her with you? I've been torturing her for a month and it's getting boring. I'm just going to throw her into the bathtub and drown her. You won't feel bad, right? My husband said with disgust. How is it possible? I married Flora just for her family's property. The bitch she gave birth to will die, and when our daughter inherits her assets, I'll kick her out. I wiped away my tears and pretended not to know. Dedicated myself to raise their daughter. Over the years, she always used her daughter's early death as an excuse to do many things that went beyond the boundaries. Besides coming to my house to visit my daughter every day, she also organized her daughter's birthday every year. She spent Children's Day with her daughter and participated in the parent-child activities at school. Even on Mother's Day, she would take her daughter out for a solo trip and take a bunch of group photos to post on her social media. Every time I asked her, she would say, "My daughter died early, and I don't want to have any more children in the future. We are best friends. I just want to treat Briella like my own child." I had not made a statement yet, but Brian immediately spoke up to help her. Flora, Lauren's child, died early, which is quite pitiful. Why not let her experience what it's like to attend a parent-teachers meeting? Looking at the expectant eyes of the three of them, I smiled slightly. Sure, I'm not free today. Seeing my agreement, my best friend smiled with satisfaction. It seemed like they thought I was particularly easy to deceive and never notice anything unusual. Lauren was getting bolder and bolder. She used to secretly meet Brian while I was at the company. Now even when I was at home, she would find all sorts of excuses to come to the door. Although I knew in my heart that every time Lauren came to my house, it was to see her daughter and Brian. But still I did not refuse. Whenever she came to my house, I warmly welcomed her. I also responded to her requests one by one. Brian was very satisfied with this situation. Whenever he saw Lauren coming to our house, the corners of his mouth could not help but curl up. Sometimes he even took a glance and flirted with her in front of me, secretly sending off a flirtatious message. Even Briella was getting more and more intimate with her. Also, he bought a pair of home slippers for her so that she could come over at any time. This kind of life continued until Briella took the college entrance test. On the day the scores came out, my best friend came to my house early in the morning. We waited for Briella's test results together. Seeing his daughter's ridiculously low college entrance test score, Brian pretended to be angry. "How did you get such a low score on the test?" Briella did not care. "Anyway, our family has money. Why do I have to work so hard to study? Mom can just buy me a degree." Lauren looked at her daughter with a little appreciation, then looked at me and said directly, "Flora, Briella is a good girl. You can't let her go to any low-quality university. What if she gets bullied? Why don't you let her work as a general manager or something in your company first? Let her help you." Over the years, Briella had been spoiled by Lauren and Brian, becoming arrogant and domineering, with no knowledge or skills. With her level of ability, she did not even have the qualification to intern at my company. But I did not say it directly. Instead I said seriously, "How can being a general manager be enough? She is my only daughter, and she should take over everything from me. I have already planned everything. I will send Briella abroad for further studies first. When she returns from studying abroad, I will fully entrust the company to her." On the day of going abroad, Lauren came specially. She brought a bunch of things for Briella, fearing that she would not have a good time living alone in a foreign country. Along the way, she kept reminding her daughter. The picture was warm and touching, truly showing a mother concern for her daughter, who would travel thousands of miles away. After her daughter boarded the plane, Lauren kept watching the plane until it disappeared high into the sky. She left with tears in her eyes, reluctant to part. After Briella went abroad, Lauren came to my house less frequently, but Brian went out more and more frequently. Every time I came back, I felt like I was hollowed out. Whenever I asked him, he would either say he was going to a gathering with his buddies, or maybe he signed up for a fitness class to maintain his figure. When he could not find an excuse, he would pretend to be sad and sigh. I raised Briella alone, and she has never left me. I couldn't help but miss her after being abroad for such a long time. If I don't find something to do, I'll fall apart. I ignored the scent of Lauren's freesia perfume and pretended to comfort him. "Briella will be back soon, and then our family can be reunited again." Brian smiled faintly and said meaningfully, "Yes, soon our family of 3 will be reunited." 3 years later, Briella returned from studying abroad. Lauren, whom I had not seen for a long time, came to my house early in the morning, just like she used to, and accompanied Brian and me to pick Briella up at the airport. The moment she saw her daughter, Lauren could not control her emotions. She rushed forward and hugged her daughter tightly in her arms with tears in her eyes. After the two of them expressed their longing for each other, Briella walked straight towards me and said straight to the point, "Mom, I'm back. When will you let me take care of your company?" Looking at her impatient expression, I gave a faint smile. "Let's go. I've already held a press conference. Right now, I will entrust everything to you in front of everyone." And under the witness of lawyers and interview cameras, the equity transfer agreement was signed. I transferred all of my assets and company shares to my daughter's name. At such a moment, my best friend arrived late, holding Brian's hand. Amid the puzzled and surprised gazes of the crowd, she took out a paternity test report and said to me loudly, "Flora, to tell you the truth, Brian and I have been in love for a long time and had a daughter at the same time as you. The hospital gave us the wrong baby back then. Briella is actually the biological daughter of me and Brian. You have been taking care of her for so many years. Now it's time to give her back to me." Hearing this, there was an uproar at the scene. Amidst the fierce condemnation from everyone, Brian spoke confidently. "In the first half of my life, I was bound by marriage. As a man, I tried hard to convince myself that I should be responsible for this marriage. But I am also a human being. In countless difficult nights, I kept asking myself, is this really the life I want? Flora comes from a good family. She treats me and my daughter very well. But what I truly love in my heart is Lauren. I just want to pursue my true love. Is that wrong? Marriage is for happiness, and so is divorce. Marriage should not be a shackle for me to pursue true love. I hope everyone blesses us. Brian's every word was sad, and every sentence was firm and resounding. Seemingly an unhappy person in a marriage, breaking away from the secular world and pursuing true love. I did not bother with him, but looked straight at my daughter beside me and asked, "What are you thinking?" Briella carefully read the equity transfer agreement in her hand, and then spoke calmly. "Mom, this is the last time I'll call you this. Although you have raised me for more than 20 years, you are not my biological mother after all. Blood is thicker than water. I hope you won't stop our family of 3 from reuniting." Seeing this, Lauren said proudly, "Flora, please save your face. Don't rely on other people's daughters just because your short-lived daughter died early." Brian also took out a divorce agreement and a bank card, then threw them in my face. "Let's get a divorce now while everyone is here. There are $5,700 in this card, which is your hard-earned money for taking care of our daughter and divorce compensation over the years." Hearing these words, everyone at the scene was furious. As expected, people of the same family stick together. What's up with this family of 3? That's right, everyone knows that Ms. Renner has always held her daughter in the palm of her hand. It hurts. After so many years of pampering, she just transferred tens of millions of dollars of family assets to her, and she turns around and recognizes someone else as her mother? $700 for divorce compensation. Is this just giving money to beggars? How can her husband have the nerve to say that? I can't stand any outsiders anymore. Ms. Renner, don't pay attention to this family of animals. That's right, they're such a jerk. The people in the venue spoke up for me, and some even offered to help me sue and get my property back. Faced with everyone's reaction, Lauren and Brian remained calm and composed. It seemed that no matter what happened, they were prepared to deal with. However, amidst everyone's righteous indignation, I could not help but smile. Okay. After saying that, I signed the divorce agreement under the astonished gaze of everyone. Seeing this, Lauren and Brian were slightly stunned, as if they did not expect me to agree so readily. They picked up the divorce agreement and equity transfer documents, checked them carefully, and only smiled with relief after confirming that they were correct. As they laughed and forgot themselves, I spoke again. "Since you all gave me such a big surprise, then I also have a big gift for you too."